Yo, I want everybody to notice the clock on the wall has 345 on it. Nobody, no visitors. When a visitor enters the room, I'm going to make sure you understand that there's a visitor in the room. There's no visitor in the room. That now there's visitors in the room. Uh, Notice the clock on the wall. The clock says 3:45 a.m. I have no reason to, say that there's a different time. Now, 3:45 is going to be a reference point that I'm using in time to create a precision where these broadcasts are precise broadcasts. Novavax is going to be a plaque. Is going to be on the face of a plaque, which it currently isn't. I don't have the plaque currently, but when I have the plaque, when I get the plaque, I'm gonna place it either on the wall. I'm trying to figure out if I'm gonna place it on the wall or at my website. I'm thinking my website, and not place it on the wall per se, because if I place it at my website, then it'll create a consistency at the website where there's no consistency at my website. It's just there currently, and I may change the content of what my website around once I get the plaque. So when I don't have the plaque currently, it on the face of the plaque is not only going to be Novavax. It's going to be Moderna, Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, and it's going to be Moderna, Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, and Novavax, along with FedEx, UPS, and it's going to be FedEx, UPS, and United States Postal Service. Now, taking that into account, that when I have the face of the plaque changed around, it's going to have copyright Dolla50 on it. It's most certainly going to have copyright Dolla50. It's going to have 10 locations. It's going to have Moderna, Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, Novavax. It's going to have FedEx, UPS, United States Postal Service. It's going to have OSHA. It's going to have OSHA. I believe I put the Center for Disease Control on there. I'm pretty sure I put. I can't remember exactly what the order is, but it's something similar. But it's 10 locations. I know it's 10 locations, consistent with me having 10 YouTube channels. I have 10 YouTube channels, and the 10 YouTube channels are Mad Butter is the most recent channel, and Mad Butter is going to be added on to the 9 YouTube channels that was previously on the YouTube plaque. It had a YouTube perpetual plaque. That's what they call it, a perpetual plaque. The perpetual plaque is going to have 10 channels on it, which it had 9 at first, and the Pfizer plaque. The vaccine plaque, the vaccine chemistry is going to have 10 locations on it, similar to the 10 locations. Actually, on the perpetual plaque, it's 18 locations, but it's going to be 10 filled locations with 8 blank spaces. Now, 10 locations on the vaccine plaque, and 10 on the vaccine gavel plaque, and 10 locations on the perpetual plaque on the YouTube channel plaque. It's going to be what I'm dealing with. It's going to be 10 and 10. Now I don't know how I'm going to set it up on my website, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to place it on my website. You can click on the link in the description and see exactly how I'm going to set it up. I'm going to set it up a certain way, and you'll be able to figure it out. What type of consistency is going to be present, because right now my YouTube channels are being tampered with. I don't want nobody tampering with my likes, with my subscribes, with my, I don't want nobody scaring my visitors away. I don't want nobody scaring my subscribers away. It appears when I was shot, look, this is a bullet hole right here. This is a bullet hole. When I was shot in the chest some time ago, the person may be scaring people away in a way that I can't see that it's that person. It's a bullet hole right here. This is a bullet hole. So you have an idea what type of, information I've been exposed to in the past. That's a bullet hole right there in my chest. I got another bullet hole in my right shoulder. So anyway, my point is the person may be scaring people away from maybe posting up in front of my websites and scaring people away. I'm not sure exactly what type of tactics are being used where my websites, my YouTube channels are being tampered with, but it's certainly, soon to be resolved. I'm looking right at these people tampering with my YouTube channels, and and I'm dealing with information well outside of somebody tampering with my information. The automobile industry alone, when I make car videos, the automobile industry is exposed to these elements of somebody tampering with my videos. The videos I make $100 million property videos. I wouldn't expect not to have no viewers. It's so crazy. You never know exactly what's behind it, but I always see something like 0 likes, 0 viewers, no subscribers, 20, 30 videos, 40 videos, no subscribers, no likes. And it's starting to sound kind of crazy because I went to the police about it some time ago, and they told me there was nothing they could do about it. So I have to combat it on my own, and I'm shot, you know what I'm saying? This is a bullet hole in my chest. That's a bullet hole. So, for the police to say they can't do anything about it, it's a situation that I'm faced with. You know what I mean? I'm live now. I'm going live stream. I'm going live stream. Now my nose is itching. I don't know what that is. But when I get some type of allergic reaction to what I'm saying, after what I'm saying, it's like I'll say something and somebody will do something, and then I can see what they're doing to some extent, but I can't see exactly what the order is of my nose itching, or I can't see what exactly is going on. But somebody is present on my YouTube channels that I don't want present. I don't want, if I create YouTube content and I don't want somebody that shot me following me, certainly I should have the right not to want them following me. And if it's going to cause me to have an allergic reaction while they follow me, a live broadcast, why would my nose be itching unless it was something, as extreme as being shot in the chest with a bullet hole where everybody can see it? That's a bullet hole right there. A bullet hole. Being shot with a gun, and that's a bullet hole. The bullet is still there. It was never removed. The same bullet hole, the same bullet is still there. It's crazy, you know what I mean? This is Dolla50, you know what I'm saying? Crazy. And when you see the iPhone is, when you see the iPhone, it's the time is what it is, you know what I'm saying? The time is what it is. It says 3:54 if you can't see it. It says 3:54. But the point that I'm making with the iPhone is on the reverse side is Bugatti. That's Bugatti right there. That's Bugatti. Now anything that I've called 911, Bugatti's watching the whole thing. somebody's attempting to hack into my YouTube channels. But when I got the perpetual plaque with 10 locations filled on it, what it does is it creates a direction. It has a direction now. Before it was just YouTube channels just scattered around and no direction. That's the same thing I'm doing with the vaccine. Once the vaccine was on the face of a plaque, once the vaccine is on the face of the plaque, now it has direction. It has order. It has a place and time, a reference point. When vaccines were initially distributed, it was like, well, it still is. They distributed vaccine and you don't have no food. They distributed vaccine and you don't have shelter. They distributed vaccine and your bills pile up. They distributed vaccine, and the order of things, it's no balance. It's just completely, the order is not in its proper context. Let me make sure my flag is showing because that's important with these extreme surfaces. It's almost 3:57, my ad. Let me see what I can find here. It's almost 3:57. I'm just making sure I can see the clock correctly because, my flag is showing and it's almost 3:57, but it's not 3:57, it's 3:56. And the point that I'm making is 3:57, this is a BB gun. I just want you to understand this is a BB gun. This is not a real gun. This is not a real gun. This is a BB gun. See, look. It's not a real gun. But that's 3:57 on the wall. It's a BB gun. Just wanted you to have some type of idea what's going on here, because when I'm expressing that I'm so defenseless against these attackers on the internet, making my nose itch and making my hat itch, doing all this stuff to me indirectly without being seen, I don't have any defense. It's like, I call 911 and, it's just the exact time that they said it was on 911 and things like that. And it's just, the attackers are just attacking, and at 3:57, I take control of that situation. I seek to take control. I'm seeking to make an effort to control the situation with the principle of 3:57. It's 3:58 now, but the point that I'm making is I won't be intimidated by some YouTube attackers, some YouTube hackers, or whatever they call themselves, Confederate armies, KKK. It's obviously a local resistance. That's tapped into my YouTube channels, some type of local resistance, because nobody else is really saying anything about going through the same experience anywhere else. So it appears to be some type of local resistance in place where you have a YouTube channel and they just always know what you're doing, like some kind of way, accessing your information when you don't want to access it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a comment in the comment section to reflect that currently. The comment in the comment section. All right, and the comment is there. I just want everybody to understand. I'm not comfortable with somebody watching me, and I know they watch me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's my YouTube channel. I'm going live. It's just I'm not saying I'm not comfortable with being watched, being on live broadcast. I'm posting a live broadcast and I see somebody there and they completely don't agree with me at this point. Like, we don't even agree at this point. It may be a foreigner. It may be a foreigner from another country, but the person that shot me is well within reason of you know being somewhere following my broadcast, and I not shoot him. I didn't shoot him. He shot me. So if he's following me that way after shooting me, I should be able to shoot him back. You know what I'm saying? It's just an instinctive reaction. If somebody's attempting to be near you in a way that is equally dangerous as when they shot you, you should be able to shoot them back and stop them from being any closer than they got when they shot you. So right or wrong, you got people roaming around, and they don't know that you should be able to shoot them for following you after they shot you already. They don't know that. They know it now, but they didn't know it a minute ago. So you know what I'm saying? Based on expressing my First Amendment rights and self-defense rights, Second Amendment right to bear arms, I'm putting together a scenario. You know what I'm saying? I'm putting together, a plot to defend myself before I'm not, because every step of the way, if somebody shot you and they get closer and closer and closer, then what's going to happen? You got a bullet still lodged in your chest right now. This is a bullet hole. This is not no game. This is a bullet hole in my chest. It's a bullet hole, a real bullet hole. Somebody shot me in the chest, close range. At the time when they shot me, it was just a burn mark on my shirt where the bullet entered my chest on an angle, but it was like it just left my shirt burned. It didn't bleed completely. It was like internal bleeding. If it was bleeding, it was bleeding internally. So it was like, it was that deadly. It could have hit me in the heart easily. It was like inches away from my heart. So for a bullet hole to be in my chest and somebody follow me and I don't know who it is, and they get any closer, I have to defend myself whether they have a gun or not. You know what I mean? I'm inclined to defend myself before I'm not inclined to defend myself. I'm not quite a victim as I appear. I'm not trying to be a victim per se, but I'm a victim if I'm shot. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of contradicting, but if you shot with a real gun in close range in your chest, not too far from your heart, it doesn't appear like a person got probation for the crime. The judge that rendered the decision appeared to be under the influence of some type of narcotic. It's no way you would give somebody probation for attempted murder, or some type of conspiracy to commit murder, or whatever the charge would have been. The person shot me and turned himself in, and what happened was when we got to court, I had to appear in court, and they gave him probation for the crime, for the charge. I don't know what they charged him. I was a juvenile at the time. I was a juvenile. They didn't. I don't believe it was attempted murder. I wasn't too familiar with the charges that they charged him with, because I didn't file the charges against him. He turned himself in, and whatever the judge did in this locality, it's 4:04 a.m. I spent some time in Atlanta, Georgia, and I was picked up for driving violations in Atlanta, Georgia, just to have some consistency with this information just roaming around freely. It's 4:04 a.m. It's 4:04 a.m. and I spent some time in Atlanta, Georgia jail, Fulton County Jail, just so this information has some type of direction outside of this locality. it's 4:05 now, but I'm putting a comment up. So the comment that I put up is based on, making a comment. I'm getting an itching sensation in my chest now. Now my chest is itching. I'm pretty sure it's this person because, now my chest is itching. Not where I'm shot at, but a little distance away from where I was shot at. The person's intentions could have been to shoot me in the heart. That's what I'm starting to sense now. That the person tried to shoot me in the heart and missed. That's what I'm sensing now. Now I'm getting a itching sensation right here. I'm reading this information that's around me, but I'm not sure if it's correct. It's still a itching sensation. It's moving around. Now it's 4:06. So I'm reading the information as it transfers. And it should be forensic specialists, scientists that know what that means. You know what I'm saying? They're not saying anything to me. They just let me be in danger and just, figure out my own information a long way. I think it's an abusive process being used against me currently. But, my Eighth Amendment rights, protection against cruel and unusual punishment, should be, my constitutional rights currently. And, I'm exercising my Eighth Amendment rights to the United States Constitution, protection against cruel and unusual punishment. If I've been shot and the person hasn't been apprehended up to date with probation charges, then those extremes of being shot are still lingering, like crime without punishment, to the extent of possibly committing the same crime twice, You don't know what this person is doing. You know what I'm saying? That's watching me now. This person is watching me. I don't know if it's an American. I don't know if it's the person that shot me. I don't know if it's some other enemy that's conjured up some story to get as close as the person that shot me. Because after I was shot, my son was burned with hot cooking grease by his mother. These people follow me around are extremes that are intolerable. I'm not just making this up. My son was 10 months old and his mother was cooking chicken, frying chicken on the stove. I was incarcerated at the time. This is the story that I understood. And she threw some hot cooking grease on my son. They didn't give her a warning. They didn't give her probation. They didn't give her a sentence. She didn't get no charges. Nothing. This jurisdiction is a cruel one. It's a cruel one. I'm from New York City originally. And, it appears to have some bearing on the matter. Me being from New York City and Richmond, Virginia. This locality is a cruel situation when it comes to justice in the courtroom, when it comes to fair treatment, equality. This is a press position to be in, just explaining this on this live broadcast and to be in a situation under these extremes. It's like being trapped, in an environment that you just completely don't want to be in. Changing districts is not just changing districts. I don't want them following me to another district. I'm saying it now because, I'm voicing my disagreement with being shot, burned, my son being burned, me being ran over with a car on a motorcycle, and all this is happening in the same jurisdiction. No one charged. Up to date, no one charged. And I'm getting these itching sensations. Hold on. Let's see what happens. My nose is itching. Now my nose is itching. Let's see what happens. Now my knee is hurting. My knee is beginning to hurt. My left knee, this knee, the knee on this side, so you have an idea what my left is without seeing me in the same direction. My left knee is beginning to hurt. A forensic scientist can read what I'm saying. Forensic scientists, they deal with this level of information all the time. Now my right knee is starting to ache on this side. This is my right side when I'm facing you. That's why I said, my left and right can throw you off. A forensic scientist knows exactly what I'm saying. And the person is still visiting. This person is still a visitor. I can't hear anything. Usually I hear some type of, person talking through the computer, but I don't hear anything now. And now it's just quiet. It's just silent, like, the person's trying to sneak around 4 in the morning, 4:11 in the morning, 4:11 a.m. in the morning. It could be a male. See, when the person shot me, the person's name was Jesse, and the person was from Blackwell, Richmond, Virginia, Blackwell Projects, South Side Richmond, and we've been to Blackwell before. He took me to Blackwell where he used to live, and I knew him that way. You know what I'm saying? I knew him somewhat. You know what I'm saying? He took me to Blackwell, and I learned the way he lived that a little bit. I learned a little bit about him, and then he ended up shooting me, for something simple like $1 or something. He told me I owed him $1. Hold on, my leg is itching. My right leg is itching. My leg is itching. My right above my calf muscle, in the front part of my calf, it's itching. I'm just making sure a forensic scientist can understand, what I'm going through with these extremes surrounding, my live broadcast. So this is YouTube, but, Eighth Amendment protection against cruel and unusual punishment, they should be able to say, listen, you see what you're doing, stop doing that. Something. Something is better than nothing. This is a bullet hole right here. This is a real bullet hole. I was hospitalized with this bullet wound right here. And in 404 Atlanta, Georgia, I was jailed in Atlanta, Georgia some time ago, just to have some type of, place and time that doesn't move. You know what I'm saying? When they locked me up in Atlanta, Georgia, they wasn't anticipating me one day saying, I'm making a live YouTube broadcast, and I was jailed in Atlanta, Georgia at the same time I'm talking about being shot in Richmond, Virginia. That information doesn't move. So whatever the crime and punishment was supposed to be, it's going to mathematically be in the same, no less of a place. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. When I started this broadcast, what time was it? Hold on. Now it's 4:13. But when I started this broadcast, it was a certain time. I'll let you remember. When I make a comment in this section, I'm going to make a comment in the comment section. Just so you have an idea of what's going on, you know what I'm saying? It's one thing for somebody to shoot you, and it's another thing for them to follow you in time, to be in the same place, to make sure you don't shoot them, hypothetically. Whatever the motive would be to follow me up to date, to make sure you don't turn around and shoot them back. But, if your reasons for shooting me wasn't justified, and you just follow me, then you're going to get shot. Chances are you're going to get shot. Follow me once I notice that you follow me. Chances are you're going to get shot, because if you wasn't justified, you're either going to go to jail or you're going to get shot. If you don't want to go to jail to the point of getting shot, then you putting yourself in harm's way that way, because it's no way you're going to shoot somebody without being right, and then follow them and not get shot once they realize you following them, possibly to shoot them again or to make sure you can't get shot. But that sounds crazy. If you're not justified in shooting somebody and you're gonna follow them, then you chances are you're either gonna get killed or you're gonna go to jail. Going to jail makes much more sense than getting killed in anybody's logic. But this locality, they contradict reality a lot. This is where slavery began. Richmond, Virginia, it's a historical slave location where slaves were brought in and made to work. And the story of slavery began here. Maybe not in this exact locality, but this jurisdiction, they had slaves. This is a slavery location in the United States, a primary slave location in the United States. I'm from New York City, so as I learned of the behaviors of the pre-existing conditions up to date, it's like the people's personalities don't sound quite like slaves, but they talk a certain way, they behave a certain way. They don't go outside of the realm of working every day. They don't go outside of the realm of not working, just being on welfare. They don't go outside of the realm. They don't just rarely do they have YouTube channels and actively functional in the business environment of YouTube. It's my understanding they don't have any YouTube channels updated. I haven't heard anything from anyone that I was around the entire time of being in Virginia having a YouTube channel, that was successful too. Not just having a YouTube channel. I have 10 YouTube channels, and I wouldn't say they weren't successful. I would say the results of my YouTube channels have been redirected, and I'm partly famous in a way that everybody in the town knows my YouTube channels, and I don't know nothing about them. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's some ironic, twisted situation in this jurisdiction that I'm seeking to get away from, but I don't want the people follow me to another jurisdiction after shooting me, burning my son, running me over with a vehicle on a motorcycle. At first I said, well, these were just coincidental situations, but when I seen the science behind their behavior, making you itch. I just itch my ear, my nose is itching. When I seen what they were playing around with, I said, I'm getting out of here. And I made my way. I'm not just talking. I have an exit. You know what I mean? I have a way out of here. I don't have a way out of here for anybody else. I have a way out of here for myself. I made a way out of here, but I just haven't managed to make my way. I'm waiting for my YouTube results to show up where I'm distributing vaccine. They fully understand what my situation is, and my information is soon to surface. I'm not going to call any names, but they're fully aware of what's going on. Now, they haven't been shot, but if they understand crime and punishment, they don't want to get shot. So I suggest they stop playing the games. The Novavax vaccine has been added to the plaque, and the plaque is going to be positioned either at my website, the link in the description. You'll be able to click on the link and see the website. I'm probably going to change it around later on the day. And when I change it around, I'm not selling any merch or anything. So what I want you to do is make a donation, support my efforts to get out of this town. I don't want to be here. I don't want to be exposed to anybody burning my kids, running me over with a vehicle, shoot me with a gun. I just don't want to be around them. That's my right. I don't have to be around. I didn't sue the judge for for malpractice. I didn't sue the town. You know what I'm saying? When I didn't sue the town, the lawyers won't take your case in this jurisdiction. It's that type of jurisdiction where you explain that you was trying to sue the government, they wouldn't represent you. Things like that. It's one of those towns where if you try and do something for your civil rights, they abandon their identities, and you won't be able to get represented. So being shot is serious. Your child being burned is serious. In the same place, they can run a trace on the information to find out if the shooting was related to the burns and the burns related to the car crash. They can find out if it's all related. If it's the same person burning the kid, if it's the same person running me over with the car, they can find out. They don't make no efforts to find out anything. I'm just walking around with a bullet hole in my chest and, saying I'm itching. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy, right? Because you can see the logic of the bullet still being there. And the person might have the same gun with bullets in it, trying to get near me on a broadcast, waiting for me to say something that doesn't agree, to the same extent of being shot initially. Because it was over $1. I had my own dollar, and I picked it up off the ground, and he said it was his dollar. He said it was his dollar, and I said it wasn't. I said it was my dollar, and I never gave it back ever. After no shot, I never gave him nothing. He never got nothing back. So based on that information surfacing by me voicing it, you have to understand these extremes of being shot and me talking and the bullet still being lodged in my chest. I don't know if the person still has the same gun in front of my broadcast or what. I don't know what's going on with the person shooting me completely. But when I voice my opinion, it's as if somebody's pushing on me to talk a certain way. Yeah, you may have never seen it before, but it's like somebody's present and pushing on me. You ever see somebody try and beat around the bush and say something? It's like the person's present and saying, yeah, I remember that. And, mentally, and it's like, if it's the same person that shot me, which I'm pretty sure it's the same person now, I can pretty much see it's the same person. Because as the information surfaces and I voice the difference, it's like I'm talking, but it's with the extremes of a bullet being lodged in my chest right here. It's a bullet hole right there, and it's a bullet inside of me that I carry around. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure it's him. Now I'm sure it's him, but I can't prove it, logically, because I can prove it logically because I can show you the bullet hole. You see that live on a live broadcast right here. That's a bullet hole. When you see the live broadcast, I can digitally trace the person up to date, mathematically, realistically, because this is all based on my social security number, my home address, my phone number. Everything is linked into social security and the government. So I can trace everything that I look like back to the shooter. And I don't know how obvious the government's going to ban their identity with the shooter walking around following my broadcast. But that's it's a crime. It's a crime. The shooting was one thing, but this is a crime now. If the person is following me to have some leverage on shooting me, something like that, it's a crime. It's like a plot, a premeditated murder type of intent present. It's a crime. Like, especially listening to this level of information, Novavax and Moderna and Pfizer and Johnson, and everybody's just watching. That's a crime. That's a crime. It's conspiracy to commit murder, and everybody that's involved, would have to be charged with a crime. All right, listen. 452. Now it's 452. I'm 52 years of age currently. 452 years of age. Hypothetically, if that meant 452. 452 years of age, force every suit in the deck, 52 cards in the deck. Or it's 425, correction. I thought it was 452. It's backwards, it looked like 452. It's 425. But people combine numbers all the time. Numbers might be jumbled around back mathematically, but you see 25 on the wall and somebody 52 seeing 54, seeing 52 in reverse because they're looking at it in reverse, then it's pretty much the same to some extent. Not completely. People that read numbers know what I'm talking about, but people that don't just see, they only see 425 or 426 now. They don't see 452, they just see 426. But listen, not saying that, just giving you some type of idea what type of information is circulating with attempted murder, conspiracy to commit murder. You see how it turns into conspiracy to commit murder, because if somebody can see somebody lurking around you with a gun, trying to set you up for a murder, you know what I'm saying? That's conspiracy to commit murder. You helping the person try and plot to kill somebody based on an ongoing experience, like you faking the person out into getting killed and stuff like that. You distracting the person. You in the audience and you yelling from time to time and throwing the crowd off. Stuff like that makes a conspiracy to commit murder. But most importantly, this broadcast is about the vaccines and the vaccine distribution chemistry that I composed on the plaque that's going to be present later on the day. Pretty much today is Friday, correct? Friday, and it's going to be present today, and I have to decide if I'm going to put it by that location there. I have to decide if I'm going to put it. I don't never put my hands over here and talk like I'm some type of a scholar or anything. So this is something new. I don't do this. But my hand right there, you see my hand, the results of my motorcycle crash. My knuckles crushed. Yeah, something with that. It's something with that. My knuckles crushed right there. My index finger knuckle. See, when I make a fist with this hand, you can see the difference. My knuckles, you see all my knuckles there. When I make a fist with this hand, see, the knuckles crushed. So like I was saying, the timepiece on the wall is an atomic time clock. Costs about $300-400. That clock on the wall right there. It's an atomic time clock. It has a universal digital computer in it that gives it the correct time no matter where you place it out in your home. My nose is itching. It has a universal time. My ear is itching now. Keep in mind, the bullet here, this bullet hole, the bullet is still in me. So when I start itching and things like that, It's not coincidental. A forensic scientist knows the difference right now. Not saying anything. Not saying anything. Just listening to this live broadcast about Novavax. Now it's 4:30. Some time ago, I was accused of stealing a Lexus LS 430, but I didn't steal it. This level of communication was transferring, and I had permission to have the vehicle. I wasn't able to prove it, and I subsequently was jailed. Up to date, I have yet to prove the difference in this locality where I've been shot, ran over with a vehicle, my child burned, and other incidents, jumped in fights and things like that. And rarely would they get shot. You know what I mean? It's been incidents where they've been shot, but it wasn't in this locality. It was in a different jurisdiction. My nose is itching. Now my nose is itching more. Now my nose is itching more now. Now it's really itching. Now it's like the person said, look, somebody else has been shot. Look, my nose is itching. My nose is itching more. Now the conversation from the Lexus LS 430 that was that I was questionably accused of stealing, the time has changed to 4:31. Now, that could have been a distract from that information transferring. I don't know what type of audience is around me, but it's causing an alarming amount of resistance. This is a sight to be seen because I'm a successful YouTuber and I'm yet to prove the difference. When you see that YouTube shirt right there, when you see that plaque on the wall, when you see my information, it represents consistency. It doesn't represent somebody that doesn't have any experience, that doesn't know what they're doing. It represents consistency. When you see that plaque on the wall there, the one to this side, to my right, when you see that plaque behind me, now it's like I'm burping, like somebody knows how to control me burping or something. Crazy how they have the extreme circulating and nobody function based on knowing what it is, because a forensic scientist knows exactly what they're doing. A forensic scientist knows the difference, and it's an experience. It's know-how, knowing what they're doing. A forensic scientist, they find dead people moving in some of these situations. They play with people's reactions until the person's not alive and see if they can move the person around. It's all types of research and studies in place that would suggest that the person may be working on me. The person may be following me around, working on me, getting results of applying resistance, like carrying the same gun that he shot me with. Anything can be, look, him being present, shooting me is enough resistance. Without the gun, just based on being the person that did it, following me around so closely that I could say something like, the person shot me and the person throw water at the wall or something, or boil water. Anything's real in this situation where you're making live broadcasts on YouTube and you're talking about Novavax vaccine. The person follow you way out in the middle of a Novavax vaccine being introduced to Food and Drug Administration, and you seeking funding for the distribution before it's approved. The person's right there following everything I'm saying. That's crazy to be the certain person that shot me in the chest, close range. Not too far from my heart. For to be the same person following the Novavax vaccine being introduced to Food and Drug Administration, and me seeking monies for the distribution and trying to intervene in that process to get money out of it. You can see the motive, the logic. You can see the intent of the neighborhood. They don't have businesses to the extent of starting a YouTube channel and being successful. The only person that came out of this town was D'Angelo, the musician. And my nose is itching again. My nose is itching. Now my nose is itching in a way that my nose is itching. I'm getting a sensation in my nose. Now it went away. D'Angelo, the R&B jazz singer. That seemed to ring a tone in everybody's mind. D'Angelo, the R&B jazz singer, the only person came out of this town as successful. You got the mutants, the mutant hip hop artists, but they just recently became known in this town. The mutant hip hop artists, they rappers, they hip hop artists, and they sound pretty good. They sound all right, but if they have anything to do with these extremes I'm talking about, they don't sound that good. You know what I mean? Hypothetically, I'm not being funny, but you know what I'm saying. My point is, I haven't seen nobody come out of this environment and be famous other than D'Angelo, and that was a long time ago. D'Angelo is older now. He was younger at that time. That was a long time ago. Now, Missy Elliott is from Virginia, but she's not from Richmond. I'm talking about Richmond. I'm not talking about the entire Virginia. Timberland is from Virginia. Missy Elliott is from Virginia. Who else is from Virginia in hip hop? P.D. Pablo's from North Carolina. Who else is from Virginia? Yeah. So what I'm saying, not to witness what they've been doing up to date is nearly impossible. You know what I'm saying? And as I make my way into the mainstream with this distribution chemistry that I compose, you can see how somebody would be attempting to leech on to who I would be and be that person to have a gun with, a bullet lodged in my chest right here. You know what I'm saying? You can see how that would add up if you was a forensic scientist, not an investigator, a homicide detective. No, that'd be too relative. A homicide detective would be able to find that out. In this jurisdiction, if you burned a child with hot cooking grease and never, hold on, I'm getting an itching sensation on my face right here. Now my face is itching. My face is itching, not my nose, my face, my beard. Now my beard is itching. Now it went away. Now, if you burned a child, a 10-month-old child, no social worker stepped in, no child welfare, nothing. It's obviously crazy. Obviously crazy for no one to step in and say, listen, what you've done is a crime, whether it was accidental or not. It's a crime. Even accidental. I didn't say nothing about an accident the whole time about the child being burned. Now, when you see me say whether it was accidental or not, the person could have did something somewhere else and said, well, it was an accident within reason of nobody knowing what the difference is. Now the question of it being an accident as opposed to how it appears. No crime, no charges, no loss of custody, nothing. You leave a kid. This people don't understand what I'm saying. If you leave a kid in a car in the summertime and it's hot outside and it's too hot and the kid dies or the person gets caught doing it, you go to jail. You go to jail just for a kid being in a hot car in the summertime. You go to jail just for that. No burns, no nothing. You go to jail just for reckless endangerment, just for doing that. You burn a kid with hot cooking grease, they grab skin off his buttocks and put it on his back. You don't get no warning, no loss of custody, no social workers, nothing. You don't get none of that, nothing in this jurisdiction. And I'm from New York. That looks crazy, right? I'm shot, child burned, hit on a motorcycle with a vehicle, and nothing's being done about it every single step of the way. And the person that shot me got probation. Probation. I was a juvenile at the time. They're playing around with something in the justice system here. Now my shoulder is moving. Now my shoulder's starting to move. I'm moving it, but it's like it's supposed to be like something I wouldn't notice. Now it's slowing down. Now it's slowed down. Whatever they're doing is some type of resistance being applied to what I'm saying. So like I was saying, the gavel plaque is going to be implemented into the process. It's going to be a consistency in the distribution process, and hopefully they'll acknowledge my presence at this point. You know, where bullet holes are showing up. You know, bullet wounds are showing up with some type of forensic extreme present, and you know. And it's certainly a sight to be seen by a forensic scientist that would know exactly what I'm going through. You know, just for him not to say anything is so contrary. Now my mustache is itching. My mustache is itching now. Now it went away. So it's almost 4:44. I'm gonna end this broadcast. We're making a final comment. I'm gonna make sure every step of the way of this experience, I'm mathematically in place. I'm making sure I'm mathematically in place. It's almost 4:44. I'm going to end this broadcast at exactly 4:44. I don't want to be linked into Jay-Z mathematically shooting me or something from when I got shot. I don't want to have no connection with someone applying resistance from Brooklyn to Virginia. I don't want anything connected, so I'm going to end this broadcast with 4:44, and the forensic scientist is going to know exactly what I'm saying. Nobody will be able to hook me up to anything from their personality differences up to date, because I don't know Jay-Z, but it appears that he may know me. You know what I'm saying? I'm YouTube famous, but the rewards of my fame have yet to surface. I make videos. You can follow one of my 10 YouTube channels and see how productive I am. I'm at Radio Airplay, SoundCloud, Songcast. So as it's 4:44 now, I end this live stream. Click on the link in the description. Take into account, I'm hyping up this YouTube channel, Dolla50 Diamond. I'm hyping up the YouTube channel. My content is based on hyping up the channel. It's not based on precision. So don't take it for what it is. But this is a real bullet hole. Peace. Link in the description. Peace. Dolla50.